All right, you guys, questions 2 and 3 are converting degrees into radians and radians into degrees. You should be very good at this by now. We've been doing it for a while. Remember, you don't need to remember any formulas. All you have to do is remember pi over is equal to 180. So you can just start everything with pi over 180. Okay, where pi is our radians, 180 is our degrees. So this first one, we have 240 degrees. That's going to go on the denominator of our proportion because degrees are on the denominators, into radians. So our x is going to go on the numerator. So whether you like to cross multiply, I'll do one as a cross multiplication. I'll do one where we are multiplying by denominators. So you pick which one you like best. 180 times x is 180x is equal to, and then 240 times pi. Okay, so remember when you have an answer, when you're supposed to get radians, you will have a pi in your answer. This might help you as you're working through the problem. Decide if you got the correct answer or not. So the last step is just to divide both sides by 180. Right, so that cancels it out over here. This gives me 180 on this side. And then I think this question on the test is multiple choice, so you're going to want to be able to reduce this fraction. You might as well practice reducing fractions on your calculator so you're ready for the SAT. What that looks like is, ignore the pi for now, and we will put that back in there. And let's just take the 240 divided by 180. And those of you that are really quick have already probably done this in your head, but I do want to do this calculator trick here for you. Enter, and then you go into the math button, and the first one is fractions, and enter. And that's the same as 4/3, right? So now we can come back over here, and we know that that is 4 pi over 3. And this, it's going to be this answer that is showing up as the multiple choice answer. Okay, and the next one we're going to do is negative 72 degrees. So we know it's negative 72 degrees, so our matching degrees in radians should also be negative. All right, we're just going to set it up exactly the same way. Pi over 180 is equal to, and remember, degrees we already have, so it's going to go on the denominator, negative 72 over, under x. We'll just call it x. You can call it whatever you want. So we get the same thing. 180 times x is equal to negative 72 pi. Divide both sides by 180 with 180. Cancel that out. And x is equal to, I'm betting a 9 is the biggest one. Let's try our calculator trick and see. So we have negative 72 divided by 180. Enter, and math. 1, enter, negative 2/5. So negative 2 pi over 5. Okay. And here we're going to convert the other way, and we're going to do it the same way, but you guys are going to freak out, I know, because when we're converting from radians to degrees, we're normally going to have a fraction on top of a fraction. And I know you guys don't like that, but that's the way it is. So we have 24 pi over 9 all over what we want to know. Now our variable is going to be on the denominator because we want to know radians. So this time, x times pi is pi x is equal to, and then let's do this other part. We're going to have 180 times 24 pi over 9. What does that look like? 180 times 24 pi over 9. Do not forget how to multiply fractions. All right, so I'm going to reduce this a little bit. I know 9 can go into 180 20 times, right? And I know 2 times 24 is going to be 48, but because it's 20, I need to add that 0, pi. And that's what's going to be on the other side of the equal sign. Okay, I'm going to erase some of this to give me space, so if you haven't written it down, press pause. All right, so now all we have left to do is just divide both sides by pi, and what happens is our pi's cancel out. So remember when we were converting the other direction and I said you're going to almost recognize you have the right answer because it's going to have a pi in it? So it's the same thing. When you're going to degrees, you'll be able to recognize their degrees. They're not going to have pi. And it's larger than once around the circle, right? It's 480 degrees. And because our radians were bigger than 2, like when you did the division was bigger than 2 pi, you should have noticed that that was also going to go around the circle more than once, so you can kind of just quickly justify your answer in your head and make sure that you did it correctly. So last one, we're going to do the same question, but we're going to change 24 pi over 9 into negative 20 pi over 9. All right, so I'm going to leave everything the same and just change 24 to negative 20 there. So we still have pi over x. And this time we're going to have negative 20 times 180. Oh, but remember when I pulled it out and did that, I was able to say that the 9 and the 180 can just become 20. Right? So what I really have is just 20 times negative 20 pi, which is negative 400 pi. Check my mental math and let me know, extra credit if you guys catch a mistake. And then, am I good so far? I think so. And then divide both sides by pi. The pi's cancel out, so x is just equal to negative 400 degrees. While I am thinking about it, and since I have time left in this video, just a quick reminder, positive angles are going to go counterclockwise, and negative angles are just angles that are turned the opposite direction or clockwise. Positive and negative, that's what it means on anything, whether it's a number line, it's which direction you're going, or whether we're talking about a coordinate point system, it's just which direction you are going.